So the immediate impulse for organising this event came from last Thursday when, during a debate in the Union about the President Ben Sullivan, the conduct of that debate just demonstrated to so many of us in the room that a lot of union members live on a different planet to the rest of us, that they just don't understand the severity of coming forward and alleging that you were sexually abused, the traumas involved in going through the process of making an allegation, and neither did they seem to understand that sexual abuse is so endemic in our society that it has to be taken seriously. And it tapped into a longer term anger that a lot of people feel that there are parts of our city and parts of our university and parts of our community that have all the wrong attitudes about rape and consent.
Yes, there is rape culture in Oxford.
There is unequivocally a rape culture in Oxford.
Yes, I think there is definitely rape culture in Oxford. I think there's rape culture everywhere. 1 in 4 women have experienced some form of sexual violence during their time at university.
Of course there's a rape culture in Oxford. There's a rape culture everywhere.
There is a subculture. There are certain parts of our university in drinking societies which have pretty macho Victorian attitudes and which continue unabated. I think that those sorts of societies often they're all male and often have a really nasty culture. And it's that kind of culture that I think we saw at the Oxford Union last Thursday.
Well, the first step is acknowledging that women are people, I think. And once we get past that, things will get a lot easier.
Combating rape culture is difficult, but I think firstly it comes up in your everyday life. I think it comes about when you combat it by calling out people who make rape jokes and think they're funny, who grope people in clubs and think that that's perfectly reasonable and fine. But I think more importantly it comes about after demonstrations like this, where we show that there is momentum to change the status quo, the way things are, that people think that not believing survivors is fine, and that encouraging a culture where survivors aren't taken seriously, are made to feel like attention seekers or liars. I think that challenging those kinds of things by attending protests such as the one today is one of the really positive ways to do that.
Well, the most horrible thing I've found since starting getting involved in campaigning about this is the number of people, women but not just women, who've come forward with experiences at this university of coming forward to their college reporting things and it not being dealt with seriously. So often, colleges saying to women, don't make formal complaints about it, and then boasting that their records are good because they don't have many formal complaints. So the first thing is that colleges and the university need to have a clear, simple policy. That's the case, just to be clear that it's not about presuming guilt, that's the case if you're a teacher, if you're a doctor, in most professions, you're suspended without prejudice. And I think if the treasurer of the Oxford Union was accused of embezzlement, they'd be sufficiently worried about that, they'd suspend him without prejudice. But they think that rape doesn't matter as much, and that's what worries me.
The sub-dean on my staircase helps to run, and in fact helped to set up, the Good Lad project, which is working with, currently by next year it will be all of the rugby teams in Oxford, and also works with football teams. And it's about combating rape culture, about ending rape jokes, about having more respectful behaviour, and the question that they ask is, what kind of man do you want to be? And I think that that's a really good way to combat rape culture. I think it's going to work, which is exciting.